Hey guys, how's it hanging? This is Flood in Mon 14 here, and yeah, how you guys doing? With another week of videos here on YouTube. Um, some of you may not get how's the hanging joke, but man, if I could take a picture of this setup I have right now. Yeah, sorry by the way if there's a line here in the middle of the video. But I literally I literally have my cell phone like kind of dangling here from the fan. And the reason is quite simple. I'm going to go ahead and cut the business. For all of you wanting card openings, this is not your video. Actually, this video is going to be a small, probably confusing due to the blurriness, but a tutorial on how to duel. So, without further ado, let's get started. I've already sort of shuffled the decks, but I'm going to cut them. So these are just a couple decks I got sitting around. One is a clearly dragon-based deck, and one is a clearly water-based deck. But yeah, I'm not actually going to be playing against anybody or anything. This is just to show. Yeah, because I was thinking to myself as I was starting this video, I was like, you know, what if someone happens to click on this video and, like, let's say they've watched the show, you know, they like the show, they like pretty much everything about the show, but let's say they've never opened a pack of cards, yeah, and they've always, wanted to try to play. Well, this video's for you. If you're an expert, you probably don't really want to watch this video, so just letting you know. But the first thing you'll want to do is, whoa, you guys are kind of swinging around. Well, that's okay. You'll want to check your deck. Like, for example, most of the normal monsters here, like these, will go into your main deck, so those you can just set on top. But if there's any, like, silver cards, or purple cards, or if there are any cards like this that are tokens, you'll want to set them sort of to the side of your playmat here, like over kind of here, away from the main deck, so just so you know. Also, there's a lot that can complicate the game with effects and stuff, but you'll want to keep a score, a record, and here I just have a piece of paper that says JO 8000, JI 8000, so there's that. You'll want to keep score at all times. Actually, most players will keep track of their own score, but I still keep it on paper, and here's why. Really good reason why. And I actually recommend this to all expert duelists, all the tournament-style duelists, the pro duelists. Keep track of both players' life points, and here's why that's important. It's very easy. I mean, most professional duelists don't try to cheat on purpose, but it's very easy to miscalculate, if you're keeping track in your own head, or to simply let an effect go through during the game but forget to mark it down, or forget to subtract it or add the life points in your head. So there's that. Anyway, both players start by drawing 5 cards, which I've done with the dragon deck. So just draw 5 cards, and they'll draw 5 cards, whatever. Okay, and then after that, somebody takes the first turn. I'm not going to show a full duel here. I'm mainly just going to show a basic kind of duel. So just so you guys know, it's not going to be exciting or anything. For argument's sake, I'll have the Atlantean deck go first. The water. So actually, you draw one more card. Okay, and so during your turn, you can do several things. You can summon a monster or activate a magic card or effect, which is actually what I'm going to do for the first turn on this one. I'm just going to activate Legendary Ocean, which basically boosts waters, boosts their power and stuff. And then for this duel, I'm just going to normal summon Deep Sea Diva. Now, that's a normal summon, but she also has a special ability, and the ability is When normal summoned, you can special summon a level 3 or lower sea serpent. So what I like to do with her is special summon this, which is Mermaid Archer. Boom. Okay, shuffle the deck. Okay, and now with Mermaid Archer's effect, you can actually equip Deep Sea Diva, who, as you can see, is weak as I don't know what. She only has 200 points, and in attack mode, you don't want to end your turn with that move, by the way. That's good advice for any duelist. Never leave a weak, one just sitting out. So with Mermaid Archer's effect, I'll equip Deep Sea Diva to herself, and there you go. That brings Mermaid Archer's total points to 2,200. Not a bad first turn. Okay. Next turn, Dragon Deck draws. So we got Burst Stream, Stamping Destruction, Kaiba Man, Champion's Vigilance, Kunai with Chain, and Trade-In. That's a pretty bad hand. like in all honesty, I'm not going to show the complete result of this duel. But, well, I'm just letting you know, that's a bad hand. That can happen. And I'm kind of glad this is just sort of a tutorial duel, because let me explain what you want to do, if you draw a bad hand like this, because as a new player, you might. The number one thing you want to do is this. Never give up. Very important. Very important. The second thing you want to do is, well, you see we mainly have spells and traps. These can't particularly do anything, but you definitely want to bluff in this case, because we have a monster that's really not that good. So I'm going to just blast with chain, set that down, and that's what I'd normally do on that turn. I wouldn't even bother summoning Kaiba Man in defense mode, just because, yeah, there may come a point later in the duel where it actually helps to have a monster, since we're low on those. Anyway, Atlantean's turn. We'll draw this. Looks like Atlantean Dragoons. It is. At this point, things are going really well. As you guys can tell, my Aqua deck is kind of heavily structured to support it. But in this case, I'll just play heavy infantry, and you can play it because it's stars. I don't know if you guys can see or not, but it has only 2 stars. And if it has 4 stars or less, you can just play it normally, just like that. Just normal summon it. So that's what I'm going to do with that. Infantry has an effect as well. Yeah, I can conduct an additional summon this turn, as long as it's a 4-star monster or less. That's a Atlantean. So I'm going to additionally normal summon. Well, just to explain something to you guys, Tridon. So there we go. And then I'm going to use Tridon's effect. You can sacrifice it and infantry, okay, to special summon Poseidra from your deck. So let me search for that. And yeah. So there we go, Poseidra. Now, just so you know, most monsters like this has like, I think 7 stars, right? Yeah. If it has 7 stars, normally you'll have to sacrifice 2 monsters to play it as a normal summon. However, since I use an effect, that's called a special summon. And just so you know, you can't like play every monster from your hand in one turn. No. Not normally. Usually you can only play 1 monster from your hand in a turn, and that's called a normal summon. However, if you are using, like for example, what I did with Diva on the first turn, that was a special summon from the deck, just like Poseidra is right now. And special summons, you can do as many special summons as possible, as long as the effect on the card is applied correctly. You can do as many special summons as possible in a turn that you want to. Actually, and I'm just going to say this for all the experts out there, I actually don't recommend, let's say you could do 5 special summons in a turn, every card from your hand. I actually don't recommend that, and here's why. The reason why is very simple. You always want to have a backup. You know what I mean? Like, for example, right now with the Atlantean deck, I have 2 strong monsters on the field, and yeah, that's great. But let's say something were to happen to them. Like, let's say this was a really, like, terrible card I had face down. Just, the opponent. And of course, I'm not looking at both hands, Um, if they had a really terrible, you know, effect go off, right now in this turn, it wouldn't be so bad because in my Atlantean hand I have, a backup. Dragoons. It's just sitting here in my hand. Also, I have a backup field card, the Seal of Orichalcos. Because the opponent will typically, destroy field cards as well. So you see, really good shape right now for this field, because you have a backup field card and a backup monster in your hand, and that's actually a good strategy. I advise that for any expert out there. The main reason is, well, never know what's really going to happen, so be prepared. Have a plan B. Okay, and without further ado, I'm going to have both of these attack the dragon deck here directly. So, yeah, shot me with your water hose or whatever. So, shot me with your Epsilon Wave, Poseidra. Epsilon Wave! Well, anyway, what you do at this point, that was just called a direct attack. Okay. And what you do for a direct attack is you mark it off, straight off. So Poseidra's points are all the way to, with the boost, all the way to 3,000. So you just subtract that off, leaving the dragon deck with 5,000. And then I'll have Mermaid Archer attack. And her combined stats leave the dragon deck with 3,800. Which really, really kind of sucks. So, but I mean, like I said, don't give up. There's still a chance. So, anyway, I am now going to take the dragon deck's turn. So, here we go. Wish me luck. Onto the dragon deck. La 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 la. Oh, I can't get this camera to stay still. Oh well. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But, yeah. It's kind of weird how it pans around like that. Anyway, I draw. Oh, wow. That's got to be the luckiest draw I've literally ever had. Okay, I just drew the Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is a good move on, if I was actually going to continue this duel. So, here's the good part about that. You remember how I didn't play Kaiserman on the first turn? Well, that's actually a great thing right now. So I'm going to normal play him on this side of the field. So there we go. And then I'll use Kaiserman's effect, and what he does is, if I sacrifice him with his own effect, I can special summon a Blue Eyes from my hand. So there we go. There's that. And basically that's all I needed, because now this deck can do pretty much whatever I want. I'm going to use Stamping Destruction. It's simply a magic card. And with magic cards, you basically just apply the effect. Usually there's no restrictions on magic cards, but some do. I'm not going to lie. And typically you can play as many magic cards as you want in a turn. So there's that. Just know that most magic cards you play, though, like if you set them face down, like I did this trap card, you really, for the most part, can't play them on your opponent's turn. Certain cards you can, but, most of them, no. So, anyway, Stamping Destruction is basically going to take a giant dragon foot and flop this out, the Legendary Ocean. So that's gone. Also, the opponent loses 500 points, so that's good. But yeah, I'm just going to keep it going with this. Basically, at this point, I would use Blast with Chain to power Blue Eyes up. It's a trap card that acts as a support, so gives Blue Eyes up to 3,500. And, well, judging my own instincts, like if I didn't even know what the opponent had in the hand, I would basically attack Poseidra right now. And here's why. Basically, that's good advice to any expert duelist that happens to be watching. Take the chance to get out the big gun when you can. Okay. Now, why do I say that? Well, I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. You can duel however you want. But for example, right now, let's say I attack Mermaid Archer. That's good and all. And let's say, for argument's sake, I don't know what's in the opponent's hand. Just based on my, experience and knowledge, there are cards that can boost the attack of all monsters pretty easily. And every single duelist I know carries certain cards that boost attack. So that's what I mean by take the first chance you get. It really is good advice. So for this turn, I'll have Blue Eyes attack with Sidra, and that will be 700 points from the Atlantean deck. So there we go. Now Atlantean deck has 6,800, and the Dragon deck has 3,800. So not bad, not bad. Also, I'll set this face down. It's a trap card. So there we go. Alright, now onto their turn. Wow, that's a really good card. I just drew Torrential Tribute, so that's definitely going face down. Now what I'd normally do in this situation is exactly what I'm about to do. I'm going to play the Silivori Calcos. Once your opponent takes out your frontline cards, like I said, if you have backup, go ahead and play it. And at this point I would. So that helps my monsters by 500. Also, I would normal summon Dragoons here, if I didn't know anything. Now, at this point, let me explain a counter move. Okay. The Atlantean duelist just summoned Dragoons. Now, I know Dragoons' effects, but you may not. Also, that's another thing you can do in any duel. At any time, if someone's playing a card and you don't know what it is, you can ask, hey, what's that do? As long as it's face up. If it's face up, like, if someone wanted to ask me, what's this do? Well, I would tell them, boost your monster by 500, and if it happens to be destroyed, boom, a bomb goes off and I can destroy any card I want. You see, that's a pretty simple explanation. But at this point, if I didn't know, for example, this water deck, I would ask, what does that card do? Because it looks like a good card, right? Yeah, that's because it is a good card. And what it does is it lets certain water monsters attack the opponent directly. Now, I don't want that to happen, right? Especially since I'm losing. The Dragon deck has only 3,800 points. So I'm going to chain this trap card. And what that means is I'm basically going to shut down Dragoons with Champion's Vigilance. So there we go. Shut it down. Boom, it's dead. So, long story short, Dragon's deck just protected itself for a couple more turns. So, anyway. And then from there, as you guys can tell, you just keep playing, basically, until someone's life points go to 0. There are a lot of ways to play, like, these extra cards over here. I don't know if I'll have a way to show them exactly in this duel, but I might try. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm not going to worry about it. So, anyway, let's continue the duel. I'll go ahead and finish it out. I mean, I might as well. I didn't expect the Dragon deck to get such a crap draw, but since it did, I'll go ahead and finish this duel out. Draw a card. Oh, wow. That is really lucky, I must say. Okay. Now, I'm going to explain, since I have the chance, I will explain tuning. Okay. So to start the turn, I'm going to play Burst Stream of Destruction. What this does is it nukes all your opponent's monsters with a special attack. So goodbye. Luckily, Mermaid Archer will protect herself by deflecting the blast to poor Deep Sea Diva. So she survives. However, because I played this card, my Blue Eyes White Dragon cannot attack this turn. Okay, let me explain why that's not such a big deal. At this point, I would attempt to summon this, Master with the Eyes of Blue, okay, and then do something what's called tuning. Tuning is basically you add the levels together. So 1 plus, this is 8, so you add 1 plus 8, send both to the graveyard, bye-bye, and then you get to summon a tuner monster. And that monster I'm going to choose is Azor Eye Silver Dragon. Pretty good card. At this point, Blast with Chain, since it was, kind of equipped to Blue Eyes, it just kind of fades into the mist. I don't get to really use its effects or anything, but, there it is. So, okay. And now, Azure Eyes is on the field, and it has 2,500. It's pretty good. At this point, I would attack with that, and that would definitely destroy my Meridian Archer. So there we go. Alright, and now the next turn. Odion turn, throw. Wow, that's a good card. That is lucky. Now at this point, I know what this card does, and I wouldn't want it to be easily toasted by izzyoi or anything else the opponent plays. But at the same time, I know izzyoi could easily wipe out my life points with his combined effects. So allow me to explain defense mode. Defense mode, you just put it down like that. Just hide it, and that way if it's attacked normally without effects or anything else, you won't take damage to life points. So there you go. Alright, Dragon's deck turn, so I'll draw a card. Alright. Wow, and I got Rabby Dragon, so that's good. So now I'll use the magic card trade-in for the Dragon's deck. So I'll discard Rabby Dragon, and that lets me draw 2 cards, which is good. You always want to do that. Oh, before I do that, allow me to explain izzyoi effect. So once per turn, like right after you draw a card, he can call a normal monster that's a dragon from your graveyard and special summon it. So there we go. Okay. Then, yeah, I'll still play the trade-in, so I'll get to draw 2 cards. And that's important as well. Drawing cards is the key to any battle, just so you know. Because most battles will go for a long time, so there you go. Wow, I kind of wish I had two izzyoi because, and I'll tell you guys why. If I did, I could actually play another one because I just drew this tuner. And yes, you have to have a tuner monster in order to tune. I think I forgot to mention that, but yes, this is actually a tuner monster, the White Stone of Legend, and I actually have another level 8 right there, so that's pretty crazy. But yeah. Anyway, for this turn, what I would do at this point, yeah, at this point I would just attack. Mainly because izzyoi is protecting all my other dragons, and I don't see any reason not to attack. So I would attack. Abyss Soldier dies, but the Atlantean deck takes no damage, and then Blue Eyes will attack directly to the opponent for 3,000. And right there, that evens things up. It's 3,800, so that's pretty good. So, all right, Atlanteans draw. Wow, that is good. At this point, I would not play this card, and I'll explain why in a moment. So, as the Atlantean duelist, I would just end my turn. Okay? So now it's Dragon's deck turn, draw a card. Okay, to start things off, yes, izzyoi is going to use its effect again. It can use it once a turn, and it's going to call Rabby Dragon from the graveyard. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to play this powerful trap card that I explained earlier, Torrential Tribute. And what it does is when any monster is summoned, I can play this trap. Okay? Oh, and, okay. And also, traps have to be set for a turn before you can spring them. So, just like kind of I did a few turns ago. Anyway, Torrential Tribute will destroy all monsters on the field. So, basically, Rabby Dragon, this White Stone, Blue Eyes, everything is gone. Alright, so I do have an effect that goes off, and I'll go ahead and use it. White Stone of Legend will let me search for another Blue Eyes. It just goes to the hand, though. So, there's that. Shuffle the deck. So far, this is going pretty good. Should have a winner here really soon. So, okay, go ahead and cut the cards. And now that was all during the standby phase. So basically the dragon deck is wiped out. It's defenseless right now. So at this point I just set a trap and end the turn. On to the Atlantean duelist. And I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but the reason I didn't play this in defense is because I knew I was going to, nuke the field, wash the field out. So that's always a good strategy, by the way. So anyway, that sucks. Sorry about that.